Good evening. My name is Otumba Olabode Osene. As you know, I have a regular program on Heritage TV every Tuesdays and Thursdays. The popular program One-on-One with Otumba Who. But tonight, myself and my co-panel today will be doing something completely different. Something that is going to excite you. We'll be talking about the 2019 elections. We'll be rubbing minds about all aspects of electioneering. We'll be talking about campaigns. We'll be talking about politics of people who are now aspiring to become the next president of Nigeria. It's going to be a great show. But I can tell you that tonight, being the maiden edition of this, what we are going to be calling Nigeria Decides. Nigeria will have to decide what they want. I mean, the new leader come March, April 2019.
Correct.
Yeah. So, but to do justice to this program, I have decided and I've chosen to go for best of the best, cream of the people who are in the area of journalists, people who are in different professions, but they are also journalistic trained. So I'm going to start with one of the seasoned journalists who had worked many years with FRCN in Nigeria.
Voice of Nigeria,
yeah,
FRCN.
many years back. You know, his name is Jerry
Crensel.
Jerry Crensel, you're welcome to this program.
Thank you very
And like
much.
I said to our viewers, this is a maiden program. We respect you. We know you've been in this business for a long time. So, and I expect you to at least feed our viewers what it takes to know what exactly we're talking about politics. And on my right hand side is a political analyst. Also, he's into other entrepreneurial area of endeavor. His name is Tony Nwise. He's also a very popular political analyst. He'll be helping us on this program tonight. And tonight, I want to quickly get started by touching a couple of areas. We are going to dwell on the current matter arising, and we're also going to talk about politics, like I said, and we're also going to talk about all what we need to know, you know, because this program is going to be educating you and also provide solutions. We will not be talking too much about negative things here. We'll not be talking about this is what they've done. This is what we'll be talking more of solution to our problem, because we all know what our problems are. Now, the other thing you can do is to follow us on Twitter, Heritage Television at Heritage Television, and Facebook is Heritage Television also. And you can also phone in. The number will be scrolling on the screen. Now, let's get started. Well, I'll be referring to you, Tony, and I'll be calling you Jerry. So,
Yeah.
okay. Jerry.
Yes.
2018. People are still not sure what they are doing in terms of are we abusing the IT? Because I know I've been to Nigeria a couple of years ago, and I know a place called Computer Village in Ikeja.
Yes, in Ikeja.
And guess what? Computer Village in Ikeja is such a massive place. If you look at the people that populated that place, they are so intelligent.
Yes.
They know exactly what they are doing. In fact, for me, for Mark Zuckerberg to say, you know what, I drove my car for these people, to Nigerians. Why am I taking you through that? I want to tell you what is now playing up in the polity. Here we have a couple of hours ago, the Inspector General of Police was having problem reading a speech. Judging from this same Inspector General of Police had been interviewed many times. He's been there. It's almost a year or so or two. He has been interviewed before. He has gone to places. He has spoken. And now from nowhere, just a couple of hours ago, he was unable to read
A script that's purported to have been written by himself.
Here, and people are saying, oh, that was distorted. That was not right. It's IT something. What's your take? Do you think Juju has come into play?
I think there's a socio-political IT mischief taking place. If you have been in the media for a while, you will have seen that that clip has been doctored.
How do you?
It goes without saying. You see, even my daughter that's yet to be born will not stumble over the same transmission like that. You see, I think there's some mischief going on. Just a group of people or somebody has sat down somewhere, picked the clip, saw the mistake the guy made, and then, dubbed over it, and then, it's trending on social media at the moment. See, the sad part of this is this. It does not stop only in Nigeria. See, for people who are not in the know, when they see this, it's a sad reflection on my country. Because how do you think this same IG will have risen through the ranks to the point of being an Inspector General of the Nigerian Police Force, and he is not educated, he's not learned, and he can't even read a simple sentence?
Tony, like I said, I started by making illustration to reference to our prowess, our IT, because this is one good thing about Nigeria. Once we are into anything, we know it best. We have the best laureate, we have the best engineers, we have the best doctors. A doctor in America who purportedly, who brought a child out, clean it, do everything, put it back there, and everybody. So, do you agree with Jerry?
Of course not. Of course not. It was very good for the IG and the government and our politicians as a whole. This is the 21st century. Of course, we know there's some mischief going on there.
Oh, so but they have. That means you agree.
I understand that there is some. I understand there's some mischief going on, but the point is that it is good. It's a baptism of fire. We need to raise our game. It points to a larger picture that our politicians do not know what they're doing. In the 21st century, in the age of Facebook, in the age of Twitter, they ought to be sharper. And if that happens, well, I'm not saying that's for fake news. But I'm saying now it's liberty. It's liberty. Liberty allows you to get out there and get your message across because you have an audience. And if that happened to Theresa May, sir, if the same thing that happened to the IG happened to Theresa May or happened to Barack Obama, a few minutes later, you would have a statement from Downing Street or from the White House. And that's the standard that we ought to be playing. So after this circulated, the IG has a press officer, it has a press secretary who's helping him. He sees this stuff going on. He goes out there and puts a statement out.
I'll concede that to you.
But Jerry, before you come in again, I think he's making a point because the whole world saw what happened when the Inspector General of Police was struggling.
He wasn't struggling. I saw the real speech.
You just said it now that he was struggling to read a script.
That is the message we saw. That is the video we saw. We saw a video showing an incompetent. Yes, right? It is the video that shows.
The video has been doctored.
It shows.
Do you mean his personal assistant was also pushed to go and
exactly? Is that
what you're saying?
The thing is, we just want to get it clear. What I want to concede with Tony is this.
Yes.
Right, like you said, it's a wake-up call.
Yes.
Because if I was the Inspector General of Police,
yes,
and the person who is handling my PR
media,
has not come out to make a statement, I would have fired his ass.
Exactly.
That much I'll concede to you. But the true video that is trending right now is about 2 minutes clip.
Yes.
It's false.
Well, you say it's false.
It is false because I saw the full speech.
Well, we don't know that.
I saw the full speech. The guy made a mistake. He stumbled once, but somebody picked it up and then made that stumble. Because
if you can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen.
Yeah, but the thing is that speech was not just that 2 minutes clip.
Yes.
That speech was almost 10 minutes. Now you want to tell me that the Inspector General of the Nigerian Police will now continue speaking transmission like that for 10 minutes?
Well, we don't know.
But I know. I'm telling the viewers right now.
Millions of Nigerians.
I don't follow the mischief.
Millions of Nigerians around the world, our friends and our enemies saw Nigeria's first police officer, head police officer. Absolutely.
That's the more reason why it should not. That's the more reason why it shouldn't have been done, because it is tarnishing the image of our nation.
No, that shows him the standards are high, and you got to raise your game.
No.
That's what it does.
No. I disagree with you.
I understand. I accept it. See, the standards are high. You've got to raise your game. It's a free world there, and people are going to go out there and go after him. It's fair game. He is an inspector.
No, I'm not disputing the fact that it's fair game.
Hang on a minute. Tony, now the problem I'm having now again, because I was on your side thinking that that could happen, because we all saw his personal assistant or whatever showing him that this is how.
But look at that clip again.
But what you are now saying is, could you have prevented this? Is there any way we could have prevented it? What happened?
That clip going out.
Not necessarily so. Not necessarily so.
So if we cannot prevent it,
yes, you have to manage it. Democracy is noisy. It's messy. This is the 21st century. Everybody has a cell phone. Everybody can broadcast. Everybody can get a message out there. We'll have IT. We've got software. We can do stuff, okay? And if you're going to go into politics, the high wire politics, and represent us as a nation and be our #1 police officer, you better get your act together.
So which means you're not blaming the IG now, you are blaming the apparatus behind him that portrays him in the light that he's supposed to be seen.
I'm blaming the IG for demonstrating incompetence in managing his department, managing his messaging. It is his duty to manage his messaging. He cannot manage his messaging. He should be fired.
Well, you see, you got to take into consideration there is, like I said, there's a political mischief at play here.
It's the name of the game.
The IG, right, was invited to come to the Senate on several occasions.
Yes, sir.
And he said no. As though that's not bad enough.
I must say he had subsequently gone to the Senate.
Yes. Okay, now the Senate president now said something about the withdrawal of the police budget, right? And the IG, who is not politically savvy, who should have waited and bid his time, you know, he was looking for cheap publicity as far as I'm concerned by replying straight away. If you withhold the police budget, I will withdraw your police details.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He should have waited.
It is symptomatic.
It's the savvy.
It's symptomatic.
Yes.
The video I was telling you is symptomatic of the state of play of the guy's mind. He's incompetent.
Yeah, but
if I were the president and I have an IG who put that kind of silly video out and
the IG did not put the mischief makers. Mischief makers did.
But that went out in his name, as it were.
Yeah, but
I would expect him 10 minutes later to put out a statement. If you don't put out a statement or you don't go out there and
I can assure you, he puts out a statement and he gets doctored.
Yes. Well, no, I can imagine, I must say this, I can imagine the Inspector General of Police and his team, his media team will have put up a statement and say, you know what?
Well, we don't see it.
I haven't seen a statement. Really? I haven't seen a statement.
I haven't seen one.
But
you're right. I mean, again, I want to agree with you.
I've seen the full video. And I know that video that is trending right now.
Yes. That is not exactly, that it does not portray exactly who. Now, let's leave that because I'm not an IT person and it might be very difficult for us to prove. And until when we don't know what is going to happen, hopefully tomorrow the expected statement will come and then we can see.
Too slow. It
might be too late, isn't it? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. All right. It's just too slow.
But it can still mend the fence. Because
he can try
if it can be proven that this
the thing is, this is not the first time he's giving any speech.
Exactly, we've seen him in different fora. We've seen in different places. He has given lectures. He addresses his forces regularly.
Yes.
He attends. He's the #1 person.
I actually think any right-thinking Nigerian should just look at that video and discountenance that video, because you know straight away this is just pure mischief.
I tell you this: if you throw mud on the wall, after a while, part of it's going to stick.
Obviously.
What that video portrayed is symptomatic of a government of incompetence, a government that is not operating in the 21st century, a government that is not Western trained, that is not playing politics at the highest level. Too slow. And that is why...
Let me also say this, because something similar could have been, say, in America. Within seconds, President Trump will have started tweeting.
Or something like that. Absolutely.
They will have been tweeting and say, and then also start calling.
Hang on.
Call there's fake news. All that. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm not saying it's fake news, but I'm saying you got to do something about it. You have to be heard.
If you were talking of what happened to the IG as symptomatic of, an incompetent government.
Yes.
What will you then say to Trump's White House that has failed to apologize to Senator McCain when one aide in the White House said, don't worry about him, he's going to die anyway. And up till now, the White House has not apologized.
And the man is still living.
The man is still living.
Okay.
The man is an American hero. You don't talk about another human being like that.
Well,
yes, I mean...
So what would you say?
Okay, Jerry. Again, like I said, let's wait to what is going to happen tomorrow, Friday, and hopefully maybe another thing will overtake what's happening. Now, I also want to rub minds about what's going on in Nigeria. Election 2019. Yet we all have, even though I don't know how sure we numbered 180. They said I don't know how the calculation, how we arrived at that, but fine, let us use that figure. Again, we also have this opportunity of people that are entitled to want to aspire to run for minimum level of ward chairman, up to local government and so on and so forth, and up to the presidency. But what we just very recently, we discovered that there's so many people who want to be president. They don't want to go through the rank. They don't want to be trained. They just want to be a typical person. The highest office is their immediate, is what they are in at. And I'll tell you something. Some of our problems are from beginning. An average trainee in tailoring will not ever complete his training structure. He wants to, in between, have pregnanted 1 or 2 or 3 women, and then he'll not finish, he now become uncompleted trainee of tailoring. You understand me? Now, it's the same thing we are bringing to the high level. Now, an average person who has not even occupied any form of political position wants to be president.
Just like Trump.
Well, wait a minute. No, hang on. I want to have you first. What do you think all this mushroom, all this large number, the long list of people, apart from the political parties, even though some of them are saying, we have a strategy, we want to wait until when we're going to tell you what political party. I don't want to talk about, but I want to talk about most of these untrained people. What's your take?
I absolutely love it. I love it. I love seeing
the untrained.
Well, I wouldn't insult the guys by saying the untrained. Look, take Showore for instance. Showore, student union leader, left UNILAG, went to America, went to Ivy League University in America. Showore went to the founder of Sahara Reporters. Showore was educated at Columbia University. Also taught there as a lecturer at Columbia University, running his business. You can't say he's untrained. He's very trained. He's very qualified. He's a journalist. He knows his stuff. And he's well qualified to compete for the highest office. Take my friend Alistair, for instance.
Alistair Shoyede of
Ben Television. Running Belter for over 10 years. Bridge the gap. Yes, that's their slogan, but they've done a fantastic job. He knows his stuff. These guys have lived in the West for 10, 20, 30 years, and are coming with great ideas, fresh energy, and are coming to change Nigeria. I absolutely support it. I love it.
So they should be given a chance. There's no any better training they need than to...
You can't get any better training than living in England or America for 10, 20 years as an honest citizen, as a successful businessman or academic.
So is part of living in America and the UK is also part of the qualification? Is that what you're saying?
It's not part of the qualification. It's part of your education. It's part of your exposure. Because, you know, whether we like it or not, the democracy started in the West. And so they live in an environment where it is practiced at the highest level. I promise you, these guys, if they're given a chance, they're going to transform Nigeria. They're going to turn Nigeria
They'll be going
places.
down.
They're going to places, absolutely.
Jerry, what exactly is wrong with analysis of Tony Nwese?
Every Nigerian has got a right to aspire to the highest office in the land.
Yes.
However, it's like a man who wants to drive a car.
Yes.
And he just can't just step into a car, pick the key, turn it on and start driving. There'll be accidents. There's a protocol and a process to you come and become. Look, listen, let's not trivialize the office of the presidency in Nigeria.
We're not.
We are, because as at this point in time, we have 68 registered political parties in Nigeria, as a figure released by INEC. Okay, now we have other political aspirants who have not even affiliated themselves to any political parties. So come the time for election, if they go and register themselves, we are looking at between 68 and 90 political parties. That on its own is so confusing that the Mama Chinyere, who is selling puff-puff by the junction, now is confronted by 100 or 80, 90 political parties. How is she going to vote?
It is in the nature of the beast. It's called the marketplace. When these guys show up there, the market will decide. That's it.
Now, you also said something, right? That this young breed of Nigerians who have cut their teeth in the Western world, in the diaspora, are going back to Nigeria to go and contest for the post of the president in Nigeria. Nigeria is a unique kettle of fish.
How so?
In the sense that
go on.
What works here, you just can't pick it up and dump it in Nigeria and expect it to work for you.
Yeah, of course.
We don't do politics of ideology in Nigeria.
I understand that. I take that point.
Now, these guys are going to go to Nigeria with ideology. And the thing, the Nigerian, now that one we won't chop. That's what's going to come out of our people.
Yes, you're going to have because that is the consciousness of Nigeria thus far. But these guys are going to come with great and fresh ideas
and change
to transform Nigeria. The consciousness of our people needs to be changed.
Tony,
some of these guys are going to be like Barack Obama. They're going to be like JFK. They're going to be transformational leaders.
They're going to be Macron.
They're going to be Macron in France.
And Jean-Pierre.
Absolutely. They are going to come.
And the 31-year-old boy in Austria.
Trump.
This is all they're going to do. They're going to shake the
Trump
tree.
Never had an office.
They're going to shake the tree.
But they're going to
get there.
Change the calculation.
Jerry, sorry, Tony. Jerry, the way you are trying to, your argument now is look like you want to stick with the old people.
No, don't get me wrong.
Because
the old guard,
because we have about 4 old possible candidates now in person of the incumbent who wants to run again.
Barren of ideas.
Oh well, who wants to run? And then we have Atiku of this world. We SPD. I'll be shocked if they don't bring an old minimum 70-year-old candidate.
Agreed.
And there's also another one party.
Old man has just been elected.
Fine, no, but then again, those one don't have structure already.
Yes.
It was the structure that helped the 92-year-old man.
Yes. Let's get one thing straight.
Am I right? Yeah. So
let's get one thing straight.
You're talking more of the old.
The incumbent is there. Come the next 4 years, or between now and election 2019, name one credible candidate that's been pushed forward to contest against the incumbent. I'm not sitting down here.
I can give you two.
I want to give you. Let's get this thing straight right now.
Yeah.
I'm not sitting down here advocating for any political party.
Yes,
I don't even carry a card of any political party.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Because I am sitting in diaspora, and it's like the man who is sitting in the audience and looking at the stage.
Yeah.
I'm seeing the whole structure, the whole picture.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. This is a man who had come onto the political scene.
Are you referring to the incumbent now?
The incumbent president.
Yeah.
He is effected a lot of changes. Yes. We had a political party there that was there for 16 years and did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he's an analog leader. He needs to go.
We agreed he's an analog leader, but digital and stereo came out of analog. So what is going to happen is this. If I were him, right, this is what I'll do. I'll contest. I'll get into office, right? As per the constitution of my country, Nigeria, I will stay in office for 3 years, right? And I will kick a lot of asses, because I'm not going to go to the country for mandate or go to anybody for mandate anymore. Then I will resign and make Osinbajo go there automatically as the president for 1 year. And then Osinbajo is young blood. Then he will you know, run for his own term.
But we don't need to endure 4 more years of that guy. 4 years.
Mark my word, the guy is going to come in again.
Well, I know he's going to.
Because he's the best bet we got.
No, he's not, sir.
He's the best bet.
He's going to get in again by rigging the system.
Tell me who else is.
I can give you 2 names.
Give me one.
I can give you 2 names. But I'll tell you what he's going to do.
Give me the 2 names.
Let's have the 2 names first.
Give me the 2 names.
The 2 names. Alistair is a fantastic guy. I know Alistair.
Alistair has gotten. You see, he must have done everything here in the United Kingdom. What is his political?
You haven't heard the man. And I'm not holding breath for Alistair. And Sowore also is a great guy. I've been following Showore's work for over 15 years.
Oh, you have been following his work for 15 years.
Yeah.
I'm going out on a limb here.
Yeah.
From what has happened to him in Nigeria.
Sowore. Omoyele Sowore.
From what I know has happened to him in Nigeria. He took flight out of Nigeria.
Right.
So he went to America.
Right.
So I'm pretty sure he holds an American passport at the moment.
Irrelevant.
No, it is relevant.
It's irrelevant.
It is relevant.
Hundreds of Nigerians hold European citizenship. They hold American citizenship.
Yes. How many of them contest for the presidency?
Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson is an American citizen.
Yes.
But he contested for a leader of Tory party.
Yes.
He didn't win. But
he didn't win. So
but he's an American citizen.
So
okay.
Now, how do we then talk about and accuse, like we keep on talking about accusing the CIA, the and all whatnot of having political influence on African politics, when you now take somebody who is half an American and half Nigerian and put him in the highest office in the land?
That's grossly unfair.
No, it's not unfair.
Hang on a minute. I think that we need to consult the constitution here. And I need to double check. I don't want to.
Yes, let's double check.
We need to double check because, but as of last count, it is not allowed a citizen with dual nationality
to become the president
of Nigeria.
Right.
As of last check.
Right. That doesn't stop them from contesting.
Then you have to give up one.
Why do you want to contest when you know that
when you're not Nigerian,
when you know the constitution does not back you to be a candidate with 2 passports? So what's the point? Isn't that time wasting and resources wasting?
You're avoiding a lot of resources.
Tony, let's just be realistic here. Let us be realistic here. The point we are saying here is once you and I know that I have dual nationality, I'm not going to deny that.
Right.
You understand me?
Right.
And
if you're going to run for presidency, you have to give up one.
I have to give up one.
Right.
So, but having said that, we don't know, Jerry.
We don't know.
We don't know.
I
because,
don't know.
You just said it yourself now.
I said I was going to go out on a limb.
We're talking of 2 people we know very well.
Yes.
We're talking of Alistair Shoyode. Yes. And we're also talking of Omoyele Sowore. You understand me? And I can imagine that they will know that the constitution will not allow them to run.
It's a case of we'll cross that bridge when we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get. But what we're going to do is this. I think we'll take it upon ourselves to cross-check the constitution and what it says.
We don't need to quibble over that. I mean, we can consider that.
See, I'm not taking away from this young man, this young blood.
Is whether or not they're entitled, because you use the word untrained, and that's patronizing.
No, I never said untrained. You see, one thing I want you to know is this.
Yeah.
I will back this young man 100% to make and effect changes in Nigeria. Our political structure, our political terrain, right? They're going to bring a lot of experience in their various fields of endeavor to bear on the country. But I'd rather they will have gone for things like maybe a senator first and a governor or somewhere, and then you see, then you bring your pedigree.
But wouldn't that be a question of choice?
It's a question of choice, but it's
because if
why go for,
you know our country, you know our people.
Yeah, but then again, we want to move out of this our country we know.
Yeah.
But I would have thought that if any of these two candidates we are talking about, there are more of them. Yeah. We have this Mike of Central Bank, and there are also a couple of other from America who also want to join the race.
Yes.
You know. So, but for me, yeah, for me, I think it could have been more better to describe the situation of them going through apprenticeship. But then again, you said it, and you also agreed to that here we have two of these, the one we know, that they build up their own business in area, and they was to a great extent they are successful. You know. So and also you also alluded to the present president of America, who had never been in government before. But we cannot say the same thing of Macron. Macron has always been in the process. You understand me?
After look at it. Look at the mess he's making of America. Look at the mess he's making of the White House.
That would be very difficult to analyze here because
it's true.
his base he has almost about 90% of the last time. 90% of supporter of his base who approve his handling of
everything that was done by previous presidents and administrations are not good enough for him. Do you know how long it took for America, France, Britain, Russia, the EU, right, and Iran? I think China was involved as well, yes, to come together and bait and fashion out a deal stopping Iran. Right?
From developing.
And then you want to tell me that only you?
Well, again,
against the whole world?
Trump's the one who's against the Iranian deal. I don't know that the French guy is against the Iranian deal.
So,
no, he's the only one.
He's the only one. He pulled out. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
A political savvy person who has gone through, right, that school.
Well, that doesn't mean he's not politically savvy, because you can also say that
look at the one he did for North America, Mexico, and Canada.
Yes.
Now he's going back to
he's bringing North Korea to the negotiation table.
North Korea is already they are cancelling. They're not. But you see that even let me say this. Let me interject here. You see, we have a pattern here with Donald Trump.
Yes.
I will not be surprised tomorrow if he turns around and say he wants to join the climate
which he pulled
summit,
out of anyway.
And then he also turned around and said, well, you know what, I double check, and the Iran deal is looking, because here we have
he's not in the habit of reversing himself.
Yes, we have a situation where the majority of people who are involved, like you rightly said, they're now saying, you know what, you're on your own.
Yes.
And the majority are, they're all powers in their own respective rights, you know. So, but anyway, we need to leave there, and then let's move on to another area. Me as a student of political science, and also somebody who have agitated, I've always believed that wanting to know what exactly is our problem. Why are we not making progress? Why is Nigeria still in this kind of problem that everything will never work? We don't have light, we don't have roads, we don't have education, we don't have housing, no Medicare, long list of woes. What exactly is it? And somebody said to me, you are not going to make any progress until when you install the software called rule of law. Right. What's your understanding of rule of law? How does rule of law really work?
Right.
And how is it going to help us?
There is a structure to the human being. There's a structure to the world. There's a structure to that thing called democracy or political entity. There's a structure to human society. And every society, every civilization that has thrived has one thing at the core of its being, and that is the rule of law.
Right.
The moment you take your eye off the ball, everything falls apart. As long as there is rule of law, there is something called accountability. If there is no accountability...
Is that an integral part of the rule of law?
It is an integral part, because you give me a contract, right?
Yeah.
I don't carry out the contract, right? I take the money, I get myself girlfriends, I buy flashy cars, right? I go on holidays.
Are you talking from the money from the contract?
Money from the contract.
Before you even start?
Before I even implement all for the contract.
Yeah.
Already, I've given you 10%.
Yeah.
Out of that.
For giving you the contract.
For giving me the contract. Then I'm supposed to be using maybe £10 to execute the contract, right? I take £8 out of it to build a house and things like that. I know very well that I cannot finish that contract. You've taken your 10%.
Yes.
So all you do is, and I'm doing all this because I know there's no comeback.
Yes, of course.
Nobody's going to hold me responsible. The worst you can do is you will fire me.
Yes.
You say, but when you fire me, there's nothing saying that, okay, there's a breach of contract here, therefore, you're going to hold me responsible for me to return the money you've given to me.
Yeah.
So it's a snowball effect. Okay. It just keeps on going in our society.
I'll say it this way. It's a simple answer, but it's also long. It's simple in the sense that it's democracy, government of the people, by the people, for the benefit
of the people.
But now, the functional word there is the people, not the government. Because the government is just about 100 people. Government of the people, for the by the people, and for the people. And so, the people who own the government, the people who own the government...
are the people.
Yes. If they go to sleep, if they are blasé about their government, the people that they have delegated authority to, delegated power to do the job, in business will say what you inspect, what you expect. So as a businessman, I have people who work for me, I give them a job to do, I inspect the work because I expect the result. If I do not inspect the work, I'm going to get some shabby.
So we're still talking about the rule of law.
Yeah, but But I'm talking of a larger picture.
Now, the thing is that you're talking about the people.
Yes, the people. The reason why we have problem in Nigeria.
People have been bastardized for so long. When you tell
by their own people.
By their own.
Are you saying is it because there's no rule of law? That's why
there's no rule of law.
Yeah. Okay. One of our viewers. Said we should concentrate, we should talk more about Nigeria because one of our viewers, Mr. Femi, said we should concentrate more on our problems of Nigeria because we have more than enough. Yeah. Now, but let me quickly go back to this rule of law because, like I said, I've been fighting for rule of law for years. Yeah. Even most of my people, most of my friends in media, they know me. They also father of rule of law and so on. And because it's my belief. Yes. That we cannot operate. There's no way we can achieve any form of success. Yes. We cannot make progress unless otherwise this rule of law thing is in place. Because it is rule of law that is going to guide all of us, that makes sure that you do your bit, I do my bit, because human beings, we like freedom. We like to be free to do whatever we want to do. We want to take advantage of everybody. But when you remember that, say, in this country and other places, that even tomorrow, once you know that there's something called fear of sanction. Yeah. You will operate, you will behave. Absolutely. So, which one that we say? Is it a chicken before the egg or the egg before the... So, which one, Tony? Yeah. Is it rule of law first or the people develop and then they get rule of law?
For me, it's all about the people.
No, hang on a minute. You got about the people. You need to, are we saying let's get developed first? Yeah. When I know, I'm not supposed to wee there. I'm supposed to pay the salary. I'm supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to kill or maim anybody. And then now thereafter, the next government should bring us rule of law.
No, I'm not saying that. I mean, the concept of rule of law is a political maxim, which is correct. But before that, there's something that precedes that. And what precedes that?
And I've just said to you now that you can, because we're dealing with human beings, that if laws are not in place, that Otumba, you cannot do that.
That guides the human being.
Otumba will speed on 406, will drive carelessly, will do whatever. A landlord will go to his tenants and say, you know what, if you don't pay me, I'm going to throw you out. You see, if we now say that rule of law we're talking about is not in place, the chances, the probabilities of we not operating normally, we're going to create a highly dysfunctional society. Absolutely. And that's what we get now, because we don't have this foundation.
Absolutely.
So
I absolutely
have the foundation.
I absolutely support the concept of rule of law.
Yeah.
It is a correct concept, but where I differ from you is that there is something that precedes the concept of rule of law. And that thing that
so you are saying there should be egg before the chicken?
I'm not saying that should be.
That's what you're saying. No, because like I just said to you.
I'm still talking about.
Okay, no. What he's saying is that there's chicken before the egg.
I'm still talking about the people. So there has to be a consciousness.
Yes.
And part of that consciousness is the excellent work you've done over the years in broadcasting, educating our people, talking to them, asking them questions, bringing posers that make us think. It's an excellent job. People like you and other journalists, our leaders around the world. So we need to continue that exercise of.
Oh, Tony, I need to stop you there. For how long? Because we're talking about this having 57 years and we still don't have basic things in our country.
Okay, wait.
What are we talking about? It's because people are getting away with murder.
Yeah,
Tony,
true.
may I interrupt you, please?
Yes, sir.
There is something called the third eye. Right?
Yeah.
If the societal third eye is not opened, right?
Yes.
There is chaos.
Yes.
Societal third eye gets opened when you educate the people.
Absolutely.
In my country, Nigeria, we have bastardized education.
Yes.
We have taken education from where it was.
Yes.
We didn't even stop at the ground.
Yes.
We took a hole, we dug the ground, put it inside and
but we know that already.
So how do you open your third eye, your political third eye,
it.
when you do not have
How do you reverse it?
education?
We'll reverse it.
Tony, how do we reverse it?
The way we reverse it is by pouring in new wine in old wineskins. The same way people have been bastardized with poor education and all that kind of stuff. We change the culture. We change the people. Fresh education.
I can only take and seize the reign from you if I'm conscious.
Yes.
And my consciousness comes from education.
Yes, I understand.
Look at the people who are coming out of our universities today.
Yes.
They don't know anything.
Yes.
And why is that?
It's a ploy. It's the ploy by my generation, right? And those who are older than me. It is a ploy, right, to disenfranchise our young ones, our youth of education, so that we can continue to ride roughshod over them.
Okay. Isn't that a case of it's cheaper for these politicians to keep them permanently poor, because it's cheaper for them to purchase them? You understand me? The election is coming out,
and they're not stopping there.
Yes.
What they're now doing is this.
I understand the sentiment, but none of our politicians is that smart.
No. They are smart. No. They are smart.
Ahead.
They have thought far ahead, but that's why they made it impossible for those who are coming after us. I went to a free school.
Yes.
Why can't that happen in Nigeria right now?
Yes.
We have the money. Yes. When I was going to school in colonial Nigeria, we didn't have 1/3 of what we have at the moment. Right? They would feed us in school.
Yes.
They give us milk to drink. We have transport for students.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? It's painted yellow. You get onto it, it takes you.
Scully, we call it.
Scully.
Yeah.
So how come we don't do that right now? What has changed? It's because those who are at the helm of power, what they're now doing is this. There is the Nigerian education, which is for the plebs.
Yes.
And there is the Western education, which is for their own children. So that when they now leave the stage, their own children will come in and they will keep the plebs perpetually enslaved.
Yes.
And like you said, really, I'll hand that to you.
Yes.
There will come a point when that consciousness, that snake, the Kundalini snake, is awakened. And when it wakes up, is going to bite a whole lot of people.
Absolutely.
But the downside of it is my people.
Yes.
I don't want to die.
Yes.
I want build house.
Yeah.
I get one wife.
Yeah, because the main priority, the main preoccupation of an average Nigerian as we speak is bread and butter.
Yes.
And as far as he's concerned, he doesn't really give a hoot where he gets that immediate.
Go now. Go and see them. They're sitting down after work. They're sitting down there drinking pepper soup. And eating ishewu or drinking beer, and they don't think beyond that. But there's much more to Nigeria, much more to life.
It is a remnant. There's a remnant that's actually thinking about this. And what they're waiting for is leaders like yourself, leaders like myself, Otumba, for instance, to come out and begin to speak. And indeed, people like Show, people like Alistair, to come out and begin to paint a new vision, a new idea that we can do. Because we're not determined. I refuse to accept, sir, that we as a people are determined and we cannot make headway, we cannot. I refuse to accept that. I know from my study of history that nations change when 2 or 3 or 4 men wake up.
Men, two or three or four men with vision.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So don't forget that word.
When they wake up, I accept. I can see.
So are you saying that we have leaders? The leaders, the kind of leader
they
we
have no vision.
They
don't have no vision. They have no vision. No.
You agree with both of you?
On that.
Oh, that most of the leaders we have today are visionless.
They have no vision. They have no vision.
At least you agree for once. Yeah,
yes. Okay. Because you see, there's something called hopes and aspiration for your people.
Yes.
Right? You see, if you are really a true Nigerian and you feel the pain of your people, you will alleviate the sufferings of the people. Which is what
has that got to do with kindness of a
no. It's by looking at the rule of law, implementing it, and not caring whose ox is God.
Yes. You see,
which is what is happening right now in our country under the current leadership.
Yes.
They might not be doing a 100% job, but they're fighting corruption. There's no more free money in Nigeria.
Yes.
If you wake up this morning and you have no kobo in your pocket and you have 1 million naira in your account by evening, you'll be held accountable for it.
Yes.
It doesn't stop corruption.
So that means, are you now saying that the crusade of fighting corruption
is gradually
is taking ground, even though some school of thought is like corruption is fighting back? But do you agree with that? That at least there's gradually
he has made some headway there, but the gentleman is clueless. With all respect, he's clueless because running a nation is not about fighting corruption. Corruption is fundamental.
What should we have been doing?
Corruption is fundamental, but corruption should not be the one that has taken over the consciousness of the
presidency is not about fighting corruption.
Second time you agree again. That's nice.
The presidency is a leader. A leader takes a people to a destination, like Moses taking the people to the promised land. He's got to have a vision where he wants to take Nigerians to. And he's got to have the ability to communicate that vision in such a way that the people are persuaded and say, yeah, let us march. So the presidency is about confidence. It's a confidence builder. And that's why I like the presidency of Ronald Reagan and Barack Obama, for instance. I have no confidence.
You see, you cannot compare those because they have the apparatus put in place.
There's already a structure in place before they get.
We have the apparatus, but we're not making use of it.
No.
For instance,
our president has a press team. Our president can conduct a rally. Our president can conduct a speech. Our president can address the nation.
You're telling me that the president should be working against the Senate?
I'm not saying he should work against the Senate.
Because that's exactly what you are alluding.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he should lead. You lead.
How do you lead when the people who are supposed to enact the law for you to rectify are not enacting any law?
Leader. The job of the leader is to persuade the people to follow him.
Do you know what they've done to him when he presented his budget?
Yes, I know.
What did they do to him? Is that the way it is done?
That is part of politics.
How come it doesn't happen here?
Of course, all those things happen here. But
it's something similar. Something similar do happen, but what that means basically is that people.
You've got to rise above that.
Exactly. People
and you can't say, because you're not going to sign.
You will rise above that when you have a structure in place to keep you buoyed.
The structure is your vision. The structure is your mouth.
The vision. If you have a vision and you cannot actualize your vision. You're not going anywhere.
Your job as a leader is to persuade, paint a vision, tell the people
with your hands tied by the people who are supposed to be working with you and making your and actualizing your vision.
I want to say something about Jerry. I'm tending to move towards Tony now. I'm not supposed to do so, but I genuinely want to tell you this.
That's why it's called democracy.
Yes, and I'll tell you something. I have used this example at many forums, and I want to repeat it again. There's no way we can build a nation by and isolate the ordinary people, because you said it. The government has to be for the people, by the people, for the people. And what I've seen many places in Africa is governments. They get to governance only to look after themselves.
Kleptocrats.
The ordinary people are ignored, are denied, are not put into consideration. Because the consideration of an ordinary, an average citizen of any country is to have these little basic things.
Fundamentals.
This basic fundamental. And I said to my friends in government, I said, you know what, you cannot neglect, you cannot ignore, you cannot remove the connection from the people. the people, they come first. You understand me? Look at the example of the terrorism. Everybody's fighting terrorism and all that kind of thing. Oh yes, terrorism will be very difficult to fight because the people you support, I mean, you expected to be part of the fighting culture. They are just not there because they are hungry in the first place anyway. So if Boko Haram from nowhere comes and give them something, they rather take the blood money, they rather take the killer's money, and say, you know what, I'm hungry. When I was hungry, I did not see you there.
Okay,
that is an issue.
Have you ever, Otumba, have you ever heard of Abraham Maslow?
Yes.
Hierarchy of needs.
Yes.
Right. Man's hierarchy of needs.
Now, our leaders don't have a clue because they don't know what it is to follow that hierarchy. Our people claim that they are poor, but they are not poor. Nigeria is not poor.
No, which category of Nigeria are you talking about now? Jerry? No, Jerry, no, I'm not going to accept that because I know an average person living in Ilorin, you understand me? Or somebody living at a very rural area in Shankisha or whatever, who has no job, who has nothing, is poor.
That's why.
I don't know what your definition of poor is.
Let me tell you why I say no Nigerian is poor. No Nigerian is poor in the sense that Tony wants to seek political office. Tony will now give them ororo, which is vegetable oil, a bag of rice, right? And give them maybe one cockerel. They collect from Tony.
But isn't that poverty on its own?
No, it's you see, because when you now go to the polls, right? Instead of you exercising your electoral right, right? The franchise given to you, by you being a Nigerian, you have sold it for that. You are not poor. If you put
on support of the ordinary people, Jerry, you use the word here, bastardization. These people, and like I said, we all agree here, these people talking about stomach infrastructure.
Stomach infrastructure.
One of two governors in the country. Now, these people are hungry.
Okay.
In this country, the system does not make you hungry. That is the
it's because
these are basic things. These people have no money, they have nothing.
It's because we don't have the structure. We don't have the structure.
But why are you now putting the blame? You are heaping the blame on the ordinary people. I will not agree with that. Because the ordinary people
now let me tell you something.
What it takes.
If you bring those things to bribe me, and I tell you no.
You because you have what it takes. You are an educated person. You have a background that maybe your parents can afford to feed you 3 times a day. These people have nothing.
For too long, we have
001 they call it, or 010, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, but for too long.
So Jerry, let's get it right.
No, this is a cop out. This is a cop out. For too long, we have been copying out and saying that there's something called no. You can say no. As at this point in time,
Jerry,
no,
they cannot say no when they are hungry.
Wait.
That's what I'm saying.
You are hungry now. Right? And you say no, right? You stay hungry, but you will change the structure.
How do you change the structure?
Change the status quo because I'm not going to vote for you because you're giving me one liter of vegetable oil.
They don't. That will not wash.
Why won't it wash? Let me tell you what.
Because when a man is hungry,
he will accept anything.
Absolutely.
No, it doesn't work
especially if his children are hungry.
Jerry.
After that, I've fed you
anything.
I am not convinced.
You talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. What's Maslow's fundamental hierarchy of needs? Food, shelter. Man must eat. People say man must work.
Yes.
Okay, right. Now, that is where the structure.
So all this one about changing the nation.
That's where the structure of governance comes in. The country has a budget. The country has people we have voted to carry out the mandate of the people. The governor of the state, who is supposed to be paying the workers, right, is now using the money to go and do his daughter's or his son's wedding. And his workers are not being paid for months on end.
You know why
and you know what? Our people will still go to work.
Do you know why he does
every day?
Do you know why the governor does that? Because I heard the governor say once, he said, why will we not steal if all of you will not stone us? I heard Amici say that before in the media. He said, why will we not steal if you will not stone us?
Because there's no fear of sanction.
Because we are not stoning them.
We're not stoning them.
Yes.
There's no sanction.
So we are not poor.
Nigerians, we're poor.
We're not poor.
That's what Nigerians need to do.
If you say mental poverty, I understand.
Mental poverty
because
physical poverty.
Physical poverty, when you link the two, when you know that when you come today and bribe me today, right? And once I've given you what you want, I'm not going to see you for another 4 years.
Yes.
My mental poverty blocks and he wakes up.
Yes.
I will live with that physical hunger just to make sure that you don't come again another
Don't forget
time.
also, this is a shattered area. This is a difficult area, and I just want to beg the indulgence of everybody, all our viewers all over the world, to understand that what I'm about to say now it has relevance to all this.
Yeah.
Do not forget that also our culture does not also help us.
It doesn't
because to a
help
great
us
extent,
at all.
we now have a culture of element of ethnicity is my family is there, and also element of religion and all that kind of thing that make me to be resilient, to make me not to you understand me?
He's an elder. Meanwhile, he's doing something wrong, and nobody can tell him.
Be very careful here. But ultimately, altogether, I believe that the amount of punishment we dole on ordinary people is so much that we have bastardized them, to borrow your word, bastardized them to a point we made them so hungry. And like I said, it's cheaper for these politicians, the most of these rent-seeking politicians, it is cheaper for them to keep people permanently poor, because it's very easy to buy them next election. And I also want to say this. I have heard from a very reliable source, some of my very good friends in media, that said to me, there is a political party that's bragged and say, you know what, come 2019, we will not spend sterling, we will not spend euros, we are going to spend dollars. And we have more than enough dollars to go around 180 people, if it has to be so.
People.
And you look at it, and you ask yourself and say, how can you?
So it still comes down to like the rule of law. Where do you get the money from?
Yes, because there's no rule of law. That's why some people will get away with different kind of things, oil wells, different kind of Nevaros, different kind of things they get away with, you know. And an average Nigerian, and this is what I'm saying, an average Nigerian want to be bigger than even his classmates, the people they were pally before.
What pisses me off is that we are
Jerry,
a third world nation, and how come certain people have oil blocks in our nation when it should be a national asset?
Yeah, absolutely. This is part of the
Why is that happening?
This is part of the revolution that Nigeria has not had, and we just told Nigeria that what Nigeria needs is a revolution, because England went through a revolution to become England they are today. France went through a revolution. The United States went through a revolution.
And Germany did not, but they have a mini.
Russia did.
World War II.
Yeah. Now, Tony,
nations change.
I know, Tony. Yeah, the only worry I'm having here. I do agree, and I do appreciate as a science student or whatever, a political science student, is this revolution you're talking about. The question is, are we ripe for the revolution? Because to have a revolution, you must have in place, if push come to a wall, to shove, who are likely leaders that we have
that will emerge and lead these people?
This is very important, because there's no point going to war when we don't have
it's not just having those leaders, staying true to the revolution. Because you have leaders who will come up halfway into the revolution, they get bribed, and they abandon the revolution and cop out.
There's no science to democracy. That's what I want you guys to appreciate. There's no science to democracy. It's messy. You know, it's going back and forth and back, you know, in and out and all that kind of stuff. And eventually things crystallize. But you've got to start the journey. You've got to go out there and say, enough is enough, we're going on the streets. When people go on the street, and new leaders will emerge, and that a new consciousness
people go on the street, like you said. Now it still comes down to education. The policeman here will not pick up his gun and shoot a demonstrator live bullet.
No, he wouldn't die.
They wouldn't, because he's got the political and educational savvy that his job is to serve the people. But the Nigerian policemen will be used by one political party or the other to pick up their gun and shoot their own citizens.
But South Africa went through the same thing. England went through
South Africa went through it because it was under the guns of apartheid. That's a different thing. It was a black and white thing. No, it's not the same thing.
Even at that,
no, it's not the same thing.
You're just taking me to another area. Even at that, because you have consistently used the word that we need to develop, we need to do. The question is, we have a situation where people in Nigeria knows what to do with the money, the stolen money. They know where to go and spend the money. They know where to go and buy a posh property and so on and so forth. Yes. And they know even back home, they know that it has to be 40-something thousand kilowatts generator. They get the best of the best, yes. And then they leave ordinary people in Mushin, yes. to live there with a better pass by my neighbor. Yes. So the question again is this: when you say that we need to develop, and I want to take you back to rule of law. Yes. If there's no fear of sanction in place, if yes. you know yes, that you stock it than I do, yes. and I'll be very careful. I'll watch it even with Jerry. I don't want to tempt, wanted to attack you because I know I can be easily. Yes. You understand me? Yeah. But because I know in this country, yes. even if I look smaller, crumble on the wheelchair, yes. you dare not take advantage of me. So this is the only one worry I have, that if we want to develop, and to develop, we have to be developed by developers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The people who want to develop us keep taking advantage of us for the last 50-something years. Yes. They're not developing us, yes, because they deny the ordinary people, yes. the education. Now, but gentlemen, we quickly, because of time, I want us to touch the very last topic I have. This is going to be controversial, but then again, sir, I want us, because I promise our viewers that this program is going to be about solution, and solution. Yeah. Now, this is going to be very, very, very controversial. Because not controversial because everybody is like, oh, this is disgusting. That's the bane of our problem. But bane of our problem, I want you to connect from all our discussion to the corruption. Right. Jerry.
As long as you have human beings, you will always have corruption. It is only when the corruption now has taken over the very fabric of society, that is where we have a problem. In Nigeria today, even if you don't want to be corrupt, the environment in which you are operating will corrupt you, no matter how hard you try. I know people who have left here in England, America, and things like that, and we went back home, and within a year, you see the same people who are spewing out ideological things, and you say, are you for real? Yeah. A friend of mine came from America, went to Nigeria, he decided he was going to go into politics in Delta. He was assassinated. Yeah. You see, corruption is a hydra-headed, mega-rich snake. It takes a very, very strong person, a very, very strong nation to fight and kill corruption.
A wise leader.
A wise leader.
Yeah.
It's not as though Buhari is not trying, but the might, the weight of corruption, the money.
Is it the level of the way he's calling the bar?
No, it's the money. The money fighting back is too much. It's too.
What will you have done if
Jerry, like you're using a gun
Jerry,
to shoot?
What will you have done? Let's provide a solution here. What will you have done differently from what Buhari is doing?
It's unfortunate that Buhari is...
what will you have done?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's unfortunate that Buhari is a democratic president. When he was ruling by decree, it would have been so fantastic. Because for too long, the people who have been the architects of corruption in Nigeria have gotten away with it for so long that it has become the norm. It has become a way of life.
They are still within us. They are still around.
Yes.
Not looming at large, but they are still like enjoying their loot.
Now you see, they are not looming at large anymore because there is a bit of backlash.
I couldn't disagree with you more.
Yeah. So you see, I wish, and I'm pretty sure every time the man wakes up in the morning, the first thing that goes in and say, "Kai, I wish I'm still in uniform." Even the judiciary is not helping the man.
Let me help you, Jared. The problem of man is wisdom.
Yes.
It is not human beings. The reason why we have corruption the way in which it is because the gentleman lacks the wisdom necessary to transform the country. The presidency offers you an office from which you can transform a nation. If you
what would you do if you were in his shoes?
I can tell you.
So what will you do, Tony?
I can tell you one or two things I'll do. First of all, the IG of police is the first thing I'll scrap. Okay? It's the most stupid idea to have one guy in Abuja trying to police people in Ilorin or in Abakaliki or in Kaduna or whatever.
What would you do? What would you do?
I will scrap that and have an IG of police policing Abuja. And
all the states do have
every state would have autonomous inspectors of police.
Reporting to who?
Reporting to Parliament.
Which Parliament?
The National Assembly.
The same people who are using these police people as thugs against their political opponents.
Democracy is still about the people and their elected leaders.
Yeah, but the question is if you give them autonomy and you put them under one governor, they will use them as a tool to oppress
let me explain, sir.
their political opponents.
I lived in Georgia for 4 years.
Yes.
In Georgia, the commissioner for police in Georgia runs for office every 3 years. Okay?
And reporting to who? To the governor?
Reports to the local assembly.
The local assembly.
The state assembly.
Now, the same local assembly.
Let me finish.
Whatever.
So he runs for office every 3 years, and if he does a good job, he gets returned.
Yes.
If he doesn't do a good job,
He gets kicked out.
He gets kicked out, even before his term finishes. Now, he now appoints the officer who actually does the job on the ground.
Yes.
So that's democracy.
Yes.
So the guy, the commissioner, has to do a good job. If he doesn't do a good job, he has direct accountability to the people. Now, the officer in Nigeria will have the IG in Abuja and the Ivory Tower in Abuja, and then appointed commissioners in Ilorin, in Owerri, in Kaduna, and all those. Who is that commissioner? Who is his allegiance to? His allegiance is to the officer, his boss in Abuja, in the Ivory Tower. If the guy says to him, go, he goes. If he doesn't say don't
agree.
go,
I'm agreeing with you.
If you have the commissioner locally running for office every 3 years.
Like here we have the Metropolitan, we have the Bristol,
we
have the Manchester, we have the Liverpool.
We don't have the structure to support it in Nigeria. Because look at even the office of the governor when you go for it, right? The office of the governor will give it a choice. Some governors will stay there forever.
Of course.
Given a choice, some governors will appoint
the president
their younger
want
brother.
to do third time and fourth time.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was a president that wanted to go for third time, isn't it?
Mugabe, yes.
Right? If given a choice, the people in those places will make sure that you are the governor.
Yes.
Right? Otumba is one who is going for the post of commissioner in the state.
Yes.
And I'm going for it as well.
Yes.
But Otumba is your party.
Yes.
You will drum up support for Otumba because you want to use Otumba when he gets there as a political tool.
Absolutely.
So it won't work in our society. It won't.
Why won't it work?
Ordinarily, me know you because you are the commissioner of police. I will come and meet you and get boys from you to go and terrorize people on my street if they've done something wrong.
The police is now from Owerri. He's now from Ilorin. He lives there. His wife lives there. His children lives there. So if he runs Ilorin wrongly, the people will go to his house and knock on his door. But meanwhile, what we have now is a guy from Kaduna, for instance, trying to police Ilorin. His wife and children are in Kaduna, but he's trying to police Ilorin. He hasn't got a clue.
And
he has no skin in the game.
He doesn't know the
terrain.
But the question now, what you have just done right now with that statement is destroy, right? The fundamental idea of one Nigeria.
No, I have not.
That's what you've just done.
I've decentralized the country.
Because you said that the commissioner is coming from wherever to come. I want to be able to have my commissioner come from Kaura Namoda to come to Lagos and come and do a job. Well, I rather want the one from Arondi.
As long as he runs for political office, as long as he runs to be elected by the people.
But even so, now because that's what I'm saying. We don't have the structure in place.
As long as he runs
because as you are now, you cannot go to Sokoto State and run for any office.
Yes.
In Sokoto State. You can't do that.
You probably shouldn't, unless you.
Why shouldn't you? Why shouldn't you? Are you not Nigerian?
Jerry,
are you not Nigerian?
I am a Nigerian.
What is the color of your passport?
It's the same green.
So what is stopping you from coming from Arondizogu?
Yes,
right?
Yes.
Where your parents have taken you to Sokoto and you were born in Sokoto and you cannot go for political office there.
Nothing stops you from doing that.
So why are we not doing that?
Well, you just
Jerry, Anthony, because again, like I said, time is not on our side. Now, again, I want to ask you, I want you, Tony, how do we resolve this problem? How do we get things going? Because as it is, it has mess. It has also been disaster. We have not achieved anything.
Issue of corruption.
Issue of corruption, issue of this, issue of that. And again, I want to take part of, one of discussion point this evening, that rule of law, if rule of law is not in place to make you do what you have to do, you will not be accountable to anybody. And if you want us to continue going by the way of let us reform first, when we finish reforming and then we will do this. How do you connect it?
I'll give you a simple
That's the
solution.
problem I have with it.
I'll give you a simple solution to corruption. Corruption is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. Why? Because corruption is a system.
Yeah.
So it's a system that sustains a building. Okay. Now, if you restructure that system, if you scrap that system,
how do you do it?
Number one, the police service, for instance, I will scrap it. Okay, I will scrap it and appoint have the commissioner run for political office in each state, and then appoint an inspector of police to do the job. So the political appointment is by the people in the Ilorin, the people in Aba, the people in Kaduna. They elect their commissioners, and their commissioners do the job. They live there and they do the job. If they do a poor job, they get fired. Decentralize it. The idea of having some guy in Abuja telling someone how to police a Lagos or police Kaduna or whatever is ridiculous. It's almost insane. It's stupid.
Yeah,
so that's the first thing I was crying.
But you're looking at so many organs of governance.
Yes,
why
have to restrict
it's only police?
You got to start from there, because right now the police service is used as a button, as a political weapon by the government against its opponents. But if the commissioner is appointed by the people, look at what happened in Benue.
Who is in Nigeria? Who is answerable to anybody?
Nobody.
Who?
And then another thing, this now
who is answerable to even your local government chairman?
Listen,
I don't even know my own local government
what you're saying
chairman.
again, do not forget that 100% of whatever we're discussing, we're talking about here, has to, or the governance on its own as a body, it has to be a kind of a legal entity. And legal entity, the business of legalizing anything has to come from the legislation.
Yeah, legislation. The Senate.
If it is not legislated, that your thinking,
yes,
your argument of this, yes, if it's not in the Constitution,
yes, that's exactly what I mean. That's a job.
Do you understand what I'm saying? So how are we then going to implement what you are saying?
Very easy to do. Very easy, and that's why
without the backing up.
I will tell you how in a minute. I'll tell you how. The office of presidency is a leadership position. The job of the leader is to paint a picture for the people. 180 million people. We are going to be the #1 country in the world in economy. We refuse to be called the third world nation.
Oh, we're still the biggest economy in Africa at the moment.
I don't care about Africa. I'm talking about the world. I want to compete.
Okay.
I want to be the best in the world. I don't want to be second to America or Canada or anywhere else. I want to be the best in the world. It's vision. JFK came out and said, in 10 years, we're going to send a man to the moon.
And he did it.
At the time, he had no clue how they're going to do that. But he said, in 10 years, we're going to send a man to the moon and we're going to bring it back. That's leadership. You pay, and then he told the people, he mobilized the nation, and then he put the structure in place to accomplish that, and they accomplished it. The job of the leader is to paint a picture, is to lead, tell the people we're going to and so place. This is the kind of nation we're going to be, a nation of law and order, a nation that respects human beings, a nation that you paint a picture, you sell a story to the people, and then the people believe you because you told them from your heart. As they believe you, they begin to work with you, and then the legislature begins to change, the judiciary begins to change, and even the man in the local government, everyone begins to change, because now they see they have skin in the game, they have a stake. Okay, but the job of the leader is to paint a picture, tell people in 10 years we're going to the moon, we're going to be the #1 nation in the world.
I'm not disputing that.
But Jerry, our president does not have the capacity to take the people on that mental journey.
But our president is fighting corruption.
Hang on a moment.
Our president is fighting corruption.
You cannot lead a people who, like you said, whose mental state is analog when you have gone digital.
That's your job.
We as a nation need what I'll describe as a seismic shift in our state of mind.
Yes.
We cannot continuously be blaming the president and blaming our leadership, because our so-called leaders don't fall from Mars. They come from amongst us.
They're from us.
They're from us, but they're still our leaders.
Yeah, but they come from amongst us.
And that's why we should fire them.
Are you saying what Jerry, I think what Jerry is saying that an average former or present president or governance leader we have, the leadership, they are replica of.
They're a reflection of our society.
Reflection of us?
Yeah, that is true. It may well be so, but
you see, the average Nigerian,
how do you then change that?
No, because the average, like that's why I said we need a seismic shift, a big change.
Where do you start this shift?
Education.
Who's going to give you this education? This education we're talking about, we are looking for, is being denied. I've been denied.
I know.
How do you are not giving me a solution to this problem?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I want us, how do we start? How do we get that education?
You see, I can agree. This is the first thing they should do. The incumbent government, the government, current government, and the current governors in their various states should first of all raise the allocation given to education in their various states.
They refuse to raise it. So I don't know. Tony,
they have to raise it.
Because we need to round up now. Jerry, the truth of the matter is we have governments, we have leadership that refuse to do what they have to do. And that's why I'm of the opinion that it is because they don't have fear of sanction. It is because they know that there's no need to be accountable to their people.
Yes.
So, again, they refuse to do what you are saying.
Yeah.
They don't do what they're supposed to do.
And they're not accountable to anybody, so it's the law.
Because they know. And I'm coming back to you,
to the rule of law.
And it's because they know nothing will happen.
Yes.
We have a situation where...
But ultimately, it's a bankruptcy of vision by the leadership. The leadership must be accountable. If you're not,
but judging from 3 arms of government, you remember?
Yes.
Are you saying the one that could have shown the vision is the executive?
The executive holds a pivotal office. Okay. He's the #1 citizen of the nation.
The number one citizen of the nation that is being vilified and disrespected by the Senate as a legislature.
I think that is part of. No, I'm not going. No. I think it's part. That is part of the job.
You see, let me tell you something, right? You've seen egg.
Yeah.
That is what governance is all about, right? Is in Yoruba it's called metalokon. Right? It's called 3-in-1, right? That's until we, as a people, until the so-called leaders come together and say, look, we, like you said, vision, but we are one, but we are three.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
When we start thinking like that, and that comes down to the grassroots, when people start saying, I'm not going to vote for that man. I'm going to vote for that man.
Boston 2004. National Congress, Barack Obama, young man, came out and spoke to the nation. And
yes,
we can. And that's when he said, well, yes, we can. And that's when he became president of the United States in his mind and took Americans on the mental journey. He said, you're not a bunch of Republicans and Democrats or independents. We're not blue states and red states. We are all Americans. Will be Americans. And that's when he became president of the United States in his mind. And that's when he took American people on a journey. And that's what our leader, and that's what our leaders should be doing. Our leaders should be painting that picture in our mind that we're not Northerners and Southerners, we're not Igbos and Hausa and Yoruba. We are one nation, we're one Nigeria, and together we're going to do what we need to do.
What is the point of him having advisors around him who cannot open his eye and make him realize?
Because they inspires them.
Yeah, because they are scared.
Yeah.
They're scared to talk.
You are taking us back to our culture, our archaic culture that does not.
I hope the young ones who are now going.
Gentlemen, I want to thank you. I genuinely want to thank you, and I'm so happy that we're starting on a very good note, because this is a program that I have always wanted to moderate. It's going to be, like I said, about the election 2019. So it's less than a year now.
Less than a year.
So we still have a lot to do. We'll be coming your way every other Thursday like this, with people of highly intellectual, people who knows what it takes. They know about politics and politicking, and I hope you'll be there, and we're going to improve on many discussions we have today. If you have a feedback, you can get us on Twitter. You can also send us Facebook. You can also send us an email, admin@heritageuk.tv. And if you have anything, you can also phone in next time around. I want to thank you very much for being with us, and I want to thank you, Tony. And I hope next time around, if you're not too busy, you are going to be my guest again. And Jerry, seasoned senior journalist.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Anytime.
So I hope we're going to be together again. I do appreciate your coming.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much, Tony.
Thank you very much.
So, Tony, looking forward to crossing swords with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So thank you very much, viewers. So it's been tonight with Otumba, who with journalists of different, you can see the different views. Yeah. Thank you very much. Good night.
Heritage Television. Promoting African culture and heritage at its best. From talk shows that concern you to both local and international news that relates to you. From grassroots football to African children's programs. Heritage Television. We cover your social and special events like weddings, birthdays, church anniversaries and so on, and broadcast them live on our apps and online. Heritage Television, broadcasting everything about culture and heritage. Heritage Television. We've got it covered. Do download our apps on both Android, iOS, and Windows mobile platform. Heritage Television, your very own TV station.
LOC, God bless you. LOC, God bless you. LOC, God bless you. And my people out there, our mother in Christ, Reverend Mother Dr. Esther Abimbola Ajayi, is asking us to come and celebrate the Comforter. Where? United States of America, 4041 Broadway, on Saturday, the 28th of July, 2018. Don't forget, 4041 Broadway, New York, United States of America. Come, let's celebrate the Comforter.